Hi, this is Dr. Neeraj Vora and you are watching me on SIFI.com.
The recent study shows a rise in osteomalacia amongst the youth today. Your comments as an expert.
Osteomalacia is what is primarily a problem with the vitamin D levels in the body, and because our youth is now increasingly indoors bound, most of office jobs, people are sitting in offices all day long, air conditioned, with no access to direct sunlight. And even when you watch people on the road, when we have abundance of sunlight, they cover themselves up from head to toe in order to avoid getting tanned because of this funny Indian fixation with fair skin. So as a result, we do not get adequate exposure to sunlight, resulting in low levels of vitamin D, and that is what causes osteomalacia, which is effectively a weakening of the bones of the body. In its earlier stages, osteomalacia just presents itself as generalized aches and pains, a bit of muscular pain. Patients feel a bit low in energy and a bit irritated all day long. If this were to progress, then the bones do become progressively weak, and there is a potential that they may fracture their hip bone as time goes by. As a result, it is very important that this matter is looked into with a simple investigation, usually in the form of a blood test. The vitamin D levels are checked. If found to be deficient, then this can be addressed with a combination of injections, medication, and an exposure to sunlight.
What would be your advice to the post-menopausal women who are more prone to bone disorders due to depletion of estrogen?
This is the other part of the spectrum, and that is that ladies who are post-menopausal are extremely susceptible to a condition known as osteoporosis, which is weakening of the bones as a consequence of the hormonal imbalance and the progress of age. Ladies are more susceptible to it than are men, and as a consequence, the focus should be on trying to detect and treat this osteoporosis in the postmenopausal women. I always advise all my postmenopausal patients that they must get their bone mineral density DEXA scans done, or it's called as a BMD DEXA scan. They must get one of these done within a year of getting menopause. This serves as a baseline for the future reference. So if this scan comes back as normal, then I tell them get yourself scanned every 2 years. And that will give us an idea of whether or not they are beginning to develop osteoporosis or not. If caught in the early stages, osteoporosis is entirely and fully treatable just by simple oral medication, which may be taken either once a week or once a month, or sometimes an injection once a year. If care is not taken, and if this is allowed to progress and it becomes into fairly advanced osteoporosis, then the risk of them breaking the hip bone or the spine bone or the wrist bone as a consequence of a simple trip or fall at home, in the bathroom, or at work, or somewhere becomes very high. And once this spectrum of a fracture is introduced into the situation, then it really increases the odds for the patient to get a full recovery. Not only do they have to go through surgery with added expense because of the fracture, but the fracture also tends to set back their levels of mobility. And all of this, why? Because they chose not to get themselves investigated for a condition that is entirely treatable. So it's very important that if you are postmenopausal and have not yet had a bone density scan, you should speak to your doctor and get one organized.
How would you explain the knee replacement surgery as one of the best options for painful knee disorders?
In our country, there has always been an age-long situation where patients want to avoid having any kind of surgery. And they say, well, you know what, this is God's gift to us and we have to put up with it, etc., etc. And that has led to a lot of people having significantly compromised quality of life because of arthritis in their joints. As Indians, we are predisposed to developing arthritis of the knee as opposed to arthritis of the hip. So in the Western world, there is almost a 50-50 split between patients who have arthritis of the hip or arthritis of the knee. In our country, because of the genetic predisposition, we probably have a split of about 80 to 20 in the favor of knee arthritis. When patients find that their quality of life, their levels of mobility are diminishing because of severe knee pain, which is not responding to standard treatment in the form of physiotherapy, a bit of medication, a bit of hot water, fomentation, put a bit of gel, etc. Then we have got to start considering joint replacement as an option to restore their mobility and to alleviate that pain, and therefore improving their quality of life. Joint replacements for the knee has become a very standardized procedure, and if you go to the right person, you are virtually guaranteed an excellent result. This surgery, I think, has single-handedly changed the way our seniors are now living their life. A lot more of them are able to enjoy life, playing with their grandchildren, or maybe post-retirement going away on holidays with their wives, and basically doing things that you would want to do and not letting some physical condition hold you back when there is a simple solution for it.